Hey, my name is Christian, but you can call me Lil. If you've ever seen my face before, it was probably on my other YouTube channel, Call Me Lil, where I talk about tech, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle travel. Over there, I've been promising a brand new channel for a long time, this one where I get down and dirty into the nitty-gritty of how I run various businesses. And in this very first video, I'm gonna be talking about how to use ChatGPT to build your own AI image generating app. No coding experience necessary, just follow my lead step by step and you can build it in as little as 10 or 15 minutes. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to a website called StableDiffusionAPI.com. If you don't know what an API is, it's essentially a way for your code to send a message out to somebody else's code and then receive a response so that you can do things like generate images. Now, they've built the infrastructure to actually do the image generation so that you don't have to. There are actually a whole bunch of Stable Diffusion APIs out there. I chose this one because it's quick, it's easy, and they've got a free trial, but also because the lowest tier is like $9 a month. So once you've signed up for your free account, you're going to go over to the API docs in the menu. This is going to show you how to connect to their API. And basically you're just going to click on Stable Diffusion API, text to image, and you don't actually have to know how to do any of this stuff because ChatGPT is going to do it for you. What I recommend is switching this to PHP over here and then just copying and pasting the entire page. Okay, we're going to copy here. We're going to go over to ChatGPT. I use GPT-4. You can do this with the free version GPT 3.5. I have done it, and the code isn't necessarily worse, but it has a shorter memory. So if you're trying to feed it a whole bunch of code, it can't remember as much or how everything interconnects as well. If you are serious about entrepreneurship, if you're kind of a one-man band, I mean, or if you're not, I can't say that for $20 a month, there has been anything that has changed my life quite so dramatically. So I definitely recommend the paid version. Yeah, it's totally worth it. But anyway, this can be done on the free version too, if that's where you want to go. First thing you're going to do is you're going to type in something like, here is a page from the docs at Stable Diffusion API. Just going to feed it the doc page. It's going to pretty much just recognize what it is. And now that you've fed it the documentation, it's going to say, I want you to build a PHP application that implements this API to generate AI images. Where you're going to go ahead and you have to choose your model, the model that you want to decide on. You can find all of the models by going over here, click on, let's just say this one right here, Midjourney V4. Actually, first I'm going to go ahead and give it this code snippet. Guess I have to wait for the page to load. Copied, okay. And then we're going to say, here's a code snippet from the model I want you to use, and then and then we say, I want you to build a PHP application that implements this API to generate images using and then I like to say, you say using the Midjourney model, right? Enter. So here where you're going to see, this is the only thing that you should have to change. You got the API key right here. And it's writing your prompt for you right here. We're going to change that in a little bit. Negative prompt, it's writing that for you at width, height, samples, reference steps. Ideally, all of these are going to be editable in the future, but first we'll just allow ChatGPT to do its thing. I'm going to open up my server here. This is lilassistance.com's root directory. You do need like a server or somewhere to run this. It's super easy. I recommend like Vultr or DigitalOcean if you're looking to run this, on a server somewhere. You can also run it on your own desktop, but I prefer using a server. It's a lot better, easier. If you have any questions about how to actually get that set up, that might be another video for the future. But first of all, we're going to go ahead and we're going to call this like Stable Diffusion Test, something like that. We're going to go inside the folder, open up, we're going to create a new file, just call it something, it doesn't really matter what it's called, but I'll say index.php. and I'm going to copy this code directly into index.php. Okay. Now we have to update our API key. Like I said, that's hopefully the only thing that we have to change here. Let's see. You have to get to profile, and then how do we get to our API? My profile. Isn't that where I am? Okay. API keys. View API key. We'll just copy this directly into here. Paste that. And we're going to go ahead and load this sdtest/index.php. And let's see what happens. Okay, so output, it generated, this is the output that it generated. Copy that into the URL. That didn't work. Okay, sorry, that's because this is not a URL. The way it returned the URL doesn't really work. Let's see if we got some other version of it. No, it's just that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and we are going to change this to something. It probably does work. It's just that there it is. Okay, so we'll figure that out in a second. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, that obviously did something. That's like 2 minutes into the process or something ridiculous like that. We want to tell ChatGPT, say, okay, great, that worked. Now I want a UI so that I can set the prompt, negative prompt, the prompt and negative prompt using inputs, and I want the other things that you can change. You have like width, height, samples, number of inference steps, and guidance scale. Probably not seed, but we'll. So we're going to use and prompt negative prompts using inputs and width, height, samples, steps, and guidance as sliders. We want to add, if you don't know Bootstrap, Bootstrap is like a UI kit or whatever, a CSS library, I don't know what it's called, that basically just automatically changes everything to make it look like usable. If you've ever written just like plain old HTML with no styling at all, it just looks horrible. So this just out of the box gives it something that is, it's not like amazing or anything, but it looks a lot better. Generally give it a more polished UI. Okay, let's see where that goes. Okay, we got to create 2 files here. Okay, so we're going to create a new file, is what it's telling us to do. The second one is called process.php. And this one is index, which is the one that we already have open. I'm going to open up this. The reason that it's telling us now that we have to change it into 2 files is because when we submit a form, it's going to submit it to the other file, basically. So the first form is just for entering our information, and the second one is going to be for processing the information. Okay, we can stop that. I don't care about your opinions, ChatGPT. Just want the code. Okay, let's go ahead and start this again. We're going to go back here, index.php, negative prompt, whatever. What are steps? Steps? It's minimum 21. When I see it down here, it just looks like it should be over here, right? Disfigured. Okay, we'll go ahead. Okay, so we got our loading GIF here. Loading, loading, loading. Boom! Bada bing, bada boom. Look at that. So we've got a perfectly working AI image generator here. Now I could end it there, and I thought about it, but I think that in order for you to have like a system where you're actually selling this, you're going to need some sort of like credit system, right? So maybe we do something like this. Like, let's just say, can you please work in a credit system? Use the Stripe API to create a simple checkout to buy credits at, let's just say, 100 for $10. Where one credit equals one image generation. Let's see how complicated that gets. Okay, so I really want this to be as simple as possible. I want this to be as simple as possible. I need a very simple Stripe checkout button that charges exactly $10 and gives the user exactly 100 credits. We can store the user's number of credits in a text file instead of a database. Now, this is MVP, right? We'll set it up with a database at some point in the near future, but let's see. Okay, so we need to create a new file called checkout.html. That's what it's telling us. New file, checkout.html. We're going to create a checkout session.php. New file, checkout session.php. We'll go ahead and add this checkout.html. And then check create session. This right here, so if you don't know how to do this, this is, sorry, if you don't know how to do this, it's like Composer. I mean, you can always do like this. Sorry. So this is where things do get a little bit more complicated because basically it's using something else. This is called, it's using Composer. If you don't know how to install Composer on your server, it's super easy, but you do have to use SSH to get in there. I happen to already have Composer installed, and so what I can do is I can change. Maybe that's the topic of another video, installing Composer. I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. Now I need a Stripe API key. So I'm going to go into let's look at this. I've got way too many accounts here, but I'm going to go ahead and go into, let's just call this Stable Diffusion Image Gen, something like that. Country of operation, United States. Don't look at my password. I don't want to explore. Okay, we're going to go home, developers. We're going to create an API key. There's an API key right there. We're going to go publish a secret key. Okay, let's see. I don't know what I do with the secret. We'll find out. Okay, so payload input, PHP input, create a, okay, so we're going to have to go, we have here, this right here, we have a secret key, and then we're going to go and we have to create webhook.php. We're going to copy this. We need the same URL for the vendor auto load, the composer. This, again, this is like extra. This is like over the top. You don't have to do this. We're going to go, this is a test key, so don't try to steal it. Okay, let's see. We need process.php. We're going to create a new file called process.php. No, sorry. Oh, update your process. Okay, first thing we got to create a new file. We're going to go credits.txt. We're going to go process.php. We need to add this code inside of process.php. Where do we put that inside of process? So it's in your secret key. Where's your publishable key? Your secret, where's your secret key? Not there. There it is, your publishable key. That's what I'm looking for. Your publishable key goes there to this. Was this supposed to be my secret key? That was supposed to be my secret key. Okay, got it. I'm actually discovering how to do this for the very first time. I've never done this before. Okay, is there anything else I need to do? Is that it? It's test, so let's just find out. Oh, I'm gonna have to change the index.php, of course. Let's see, let's see, create a new file. Maybe that's on checkout. Okay. What do I need to add to index.php so that a user can check out and credits are reflected? Here's the updated index.php file. Okay, we're going to go ahead and continue with that. We are back in here for the moment of truth. Let's see if this works. Click, and we're going to buy 100 credits for $10. Bada bing, bada boom. It works. 100 credits, $10. c.osmo@gmail.com. Let's go ahead and add a test Stripe card. Let's see, test Stripe card. Gosh dang it. We'll go ahead and use that one. That's where we are. Put any numbers in here that's in the future. Bilbo Baggins. He comes from New Zealand. Where's I'm illiterate. LMN and pay. Boom! And we got it. Purchase successful. Thank you for purchasing 100 credits. You can now use them to generate images. Back to image generator. And look at that, it gave me 200 credits. Oh boy. And that there, guys, is pretty much all there is to it. In about 20 minutes, we have built a perfectly functional AI image generator with barely even touching the code, using entirely ChatGPT and Stable Diffusion API. Now this of course can get massively more complicated. You can create all sorts of features. I do recommend that if you were to go this route and turn this into a business, you try to create something that makes this unique. All of that said, just for you, if you click the link in the description below and subscribe to my newsletter, you can have all of this code absolutely free. And just for me, I switched out the test keys with the live keys on Stripe. So if you were to go to this URL, littleassistants.com/sdtest/index.php, click on the buy 100 credits for $10 and you buy 100 credits, you will be actually sending me $10. So thank you.